Okay, yes mate. First time doing this, I've got absolutely no notes. I'm going to try and keep this completely raw, mate. We're just going to have a bit of a discussion. Literally filming this today. I just want to get this onto YouTube, uploaded. There's not going to be any editing. I just want to get my opinion out there because I'm getting a lot of questions recently regarding the whole coronavirus situation and what my opinion is and how I think you should be handling this situation, how it's impacting my life, etc. So basically, I'm obviously not any form of scientist or doctor. I really don't fully understand or appreciate the severity of the whole coronavirus. I'll put some links down below to some podcasts that I have listened to that kind of put into perspective a little bit how serious this actually is. I'll start off and say that I was very naive a few weeks ago to this whole situation. I did think that it was just going to kind of come and go and blow over and not really have too much of an impact. And as someone who doesn't watch the news ever, I just stay out of it. I think it's all very negative. I wasn't really that well informed with what was going on in China and in other countries, etc. So yeah, I was a bit, guess you could say, oblivious to everything that was going on. And then I started realising that actually this whole coronavirus is pretty serious, and I started seeing some of the news reports, which for the most part I think news does exaggerate stuff a lot, but I was starting to realise that actually this is very serious. And I now can't quite believe it's happening. It's all a bit crazy. Like, this sort of stuff doesn't happen often. You think to 100 years time, however long in the future, people are going to be talking back to 2020 when there was this pandemic coronavirus, and all of these people in the future will be thinking, can you imagine what it would have been like to live through that and how much of an impact it had on everyone's lives? And here we are about to hit it front on, living right in the thick of it. It's actually insane, and you just don't think something like that will happen in your lifetime, but here we are. So how is this impacting my life? I was going to leave my job. I handed in my notice to be the end of May. The plan was to go all in on content and YouTube and to just make the most of summer, all of the events, all of the festivals going on, etc. However, I've actually requested to lift my notice because how am I going to be able to make all of the content that I want to make, etc., and the whole plan behind it if everything is cancelled? And I guess that leads on to my next point. Do I believe that festivals, etc., all these events over summer are going to be cancelled? The answer is yes. I very much am an optimistic person. I don't like to be pessimistic. I'm always trying to be positive, but I also need to be realistic. And in this situation, I don't think any of the festivals are going to go on over summer. So I think for the most part, every single event is going to be called off until at least September, I reckon. So then I sort of had a real big decision to make, and I was like, well, yeah, obviously there's loads of things I can do at home with my time. I can develop my skill sets that I already am trying to develop and just spend more time doing that. I can obviously make content at home, etc. But it's not the same. Whereas with work, I'm working from home at the moment and will be for the foreseeable future. I'm earning money, a decent amount of money as well, and I only work Monday to Thursday. So if I'm going to be at home anyways, I might as well continue with my job until we're in a position when essentially life goes back to normal. So that's the first thing that's having an impact on me. I haven't got the complete confirmation yet. I've got a meeting tomorrow. No, I've got a meeting on Monday with my boss to basically discuss it. And I've said to him that I'd like to stay until they're able to find someone or in a position to find someone to replace me. Obviously at the moment that's not easy, and training someone wouldn't be easy. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. That's the kind of main impact it's having on my personal life. And I know in the grand scheme of things, that's a very small impact compared to so many other people. And so many people would give anything to be able to work the job that I do right now. So that's the other thing that I've got to take into account. So that's why I've made that decision. The other impact it's had, obviously, and this I get a lot of questions on at the moment on Instagram, is how it's impacting my training. Obviously, I can't go to the gym. Boris Johnson announced that gyms are shut, restaurants are shut, which I think is the right decision. We all knew it was going to come. So obviously can't go to the gym anymore. I'm actually not that bothered about it. And I'm not just saying that, because at the end of the day, sick, postman just like put some letters through the door, but low-key just freaking rammed him through. I guess I might have to cut that bit out, or maybe I will just keep it in. You guys will just be a bit like, at least it's raw, mate. Yeah, so basically I'm not that bothered about it. I'm not just saying that. The gym is a luxury, and for me it's not my job. It's just something I enjoy doing, and at the end of the day, it is what it is. There are things that I can do at home. I can train bodyweight exercises. I've got some weights in the garage. In a future video, I'm going to show you what I have got, how I'm going to make it work, and what sort of workouts I'm going to do. I'll just do a lot of full body stuff. And to be honest with you, I'm just going to utilise this as a time to just get into running more, increase my cardiovascular fitness, go for more walks, just get outside more, listen to more podcasts. There's pros and cons to be taken for everything. Literally, you just have to do what you can with what you've got. There's no point moping and crying about all these things that you've lost or don't have access to at the moment, because that's not going to change the situation. So you literally just need to be like, okay, this is what's happened. What do I have access to? Potentially, what can I set up? Can I afford getting some equipment in? If not, that's fine. Just don't worry, because you can enhance in other areas of your life. So that's the kind of approach that I'm taking to the exercise side of things. I guess the other discussion is around how serious I think this virus is and how long term I think it's going to go on for. Again, please listen to the links that I'm going to put below, because that's where I've got a lot of my understanding from the severity of this situation. I don't think it's short term by any means. I really wish that it will be, but I don't think it is. I think we're looking at about 6 months minimum until sort of things start to go back to normality, potentially pushing for a bit longer. Most of the rest of this year, I believe, is going to be a bit of a write-off, which is absolutely insane, and it freaking kills me to say it. But yeah, I'm not so much worried about my own personal health. I don't think even if I do catch the virus, I'm at any risk, but it's obviously more so everyone else out there, and I don't think that it's okay for anyone to die, regardless of your health or how old you are. Obviously that's not okay, because that person deserves to be here as much as everyone else, and that person is also someone else's grandparent or family member, brother, sister. They're someone else's relative, so it's horrible that people are even dying. So at the end of the day, what's the conclusion? How are we going to get out of this? I really don't know. I'm not going to lie. I have no idea. We can't self-isolate every single person, because you can be contagious 2 weeks prior to even showing any symptoms, which is mental. So we can't just say, oh, this person's ill, keep them in a room, and then everyone else can continue to operate, and we'll just self-contain everyone until we figure out a solution or some form of tested drug to help them, and we'll give them that. That's not an option. We can't self-isolate everyone. We don't know who's got it, so that's not an option. Obviously then there's the whole drug thing, coming up with a drug to fight this, but the process of creating a new drug and then being in a position to give it to the public takes ages. And I know that they've already got like drugs in testing in record time. That's all well and good, but you're still looking at 6 months minimum until that's actually at a point they can give it to the public. There are tests out there, although I've heard recently that there's been some flaws in the tests that they've been giving people. So that's all a bit crazy. I don't really fully understand that, but what I do understand is of the tests that they do have, if they do work or if they have been working, there's not that many of them. There definitely isn't enough to give to everyone. So that's not really an option. That won't slow down the spread of all of this. It's actually insane. It hasn't even been proven that if you catch it, you're immune to it. There's actually some speculation that you could potentially catch it again once you've already had it. So So it's fucked. Like, what the hell are we meant to do? I literally don't know what the solution is, and that is a bit worrying. But what I think your mindset to the whole situation should be is you should just not panic and get stressed out. I know for some people, especially relating to work, and like you've obviously got commitments that you need to pay for, this is an absolute nightmare. Like, nothing could potentially be more of a worse situation than this. However, it's happening, and you just need to deal with this in the best way possible, and you need to be proactive and not reactive. You need to think, fine, what can I do to try and get through this so that when I come out the other end, I'm in a good position both mentally and physically. Because the last thing you want to do right now is, for the next 6 months, get yourself into a bad mental state so that when all of this ends, you've actually kind of put yourself in a bad position to pursue the rest of your life. You've let a short-term disruption have a long-term impact on your whole life, and you absolutely can't let that happen, like, at all, by any means. So just try and be positive, and just, we're going to deal with it and we're going to get through it. Be grateful for what you do have. So don't focus in on, I've lost the ability to eat out, I've lost the ability to go to the gym, I've lost this, I've lost that, etc. Try to focus more on what we do have still, and family, shelter, food, clothes. I know it's very cliche, but we do have all of that still, and we just need to really appreciate those things right now. And also just understand that at the end of the day, it's going to be alright. Like, we are going to be alright long term. It's not like the world is going to end. So we just need to chill out a little bit and just sort of think, okay, let's just get through this. Let's all pull together, and we just have to hopefully come out stronger, and hopefully this will bring everyone together. So yeah, completely not planned, like, in terms of notes or anything. I just guess I want to just speak my mind a little bit. I really do hope that everyone who's watching this is okay, mentally, physically. I hope that you're able to deal with this in a very positive way. I'm sure some of you, this has really impacted your life, and I'm sorry to hear that. But you can get through it. Like, you will be able to get through it. So just stay strong and just look after yourself. Look after those around you. Like I said, links will be below. Like, try and inform yourself about everything. Look after your personal hygiene. And yeah, I think we're in this for the long haul. I think I'm going to continue to make content at home with what I can do. I'm going to spend a lot of time just learning stuff and just trying to, like, enhance my skill set, etc. What content I'm going to try and make, who knows? I have no idea. Sit down talking videos, try and do some vlogs. Like I said, when I set up a bit of a, I guess, home gym to a certain extent set up in my garage, I'll make videos on that. I'm going to keep doing what I can with what I've got, basically, and that's all you can do. So stay positive. We're going to be alright, like, it's going to be okay. And yeah, I know the economy is kind of going to shit at the moment, but just take every day as it comes, and we're going to get through it, mate. So yeah, I hope you've appreciated this raw video. If you've watched it, you're a legend. Obviously, this is just more personal, a bit of a discussion from a mate to a mate, from me to you. Obviously, if you want to comment your opinions down below and how maybe it's impacting you, I'll reply to every comment like I always do, and not saying that I'm some sort of special guru and that I'll be able to give you some next level advice that's going to change your life, but at the end of the day, sometimes it's just quite nice to talk to someone about stuff, and I'm happy to talk to you about it, mate. So I appreciate you guys. I'll see you in the next video. This one's just going to be chucked in as a random one. I've got other videos edited that, mind you, were from like a week ago, so timelines might be a bit out, mate, but that's what happens when you work a full-time job and produce YouTube videos at the same time. Honestly, you're all legends. Let's get through this as a fucking team, mate. Yes, mate.